They've just announced Cruiseville Season 2, so we're going to show you everything about Cruiseville Season 1 so you know what to expect with a VIP package. Hey everyone, welcome to Getaway Vacation Genie, and today we're talking about Cruiseville Season 1 by Vacationeer. Season 1 of Cruiseville featured Tom, Michael, Erica, Laura, Adrian, and
John Glover, who was my personal favorite.
I think what we want to do today is just answer 4 major questions about the Cruiseville experience. I think number 1, which is what everyone's asking, is was it worth it?
Was it worth it? So I'm the die-hard Smallville fan between the two of us. I've seen the show maybe 8 to 10 times, the full way through season 1 through season 10. I've seen maybe season 8 through 10, which is my favorite. I'm a big Chloe's fan. I've seen that maybe 20 times over. I just keep rewatching it. I'm the die-hard Smallville fan. So for me, it was worth it. But we will get into cost and let you decide for yourself, it wasn't worth it. And we'll go through each of the events. We have the schedule that we'll show you. And we'll just kind of go through it one by one so you can decide. But as a die-hard fan, for me, I think it was worth it.
Yeah, and I'm watching it for the first time. I'm really here for her, so I'm a semi-fan, I guess. But we'll talk about both of our experiences and what we felt. And we'll talk about what we did on the cruise, number 2, like you said. Number 3, what went right, what went wrong, some things that we hear are going to be improved. Mm-hmm. And then I think number 4 is, where would you spend your money if you had to choose? We'll kind of give you some ideas of what we thought were worth it, what was less worth it, and things to consider.
I think it was all worth it. I think you should go for it. I think if you hold back on anything, it would be like the shirts. I made custom Smallville dresses myself, just because I love wearing dresses. But I think it was all worth it. I think you should go for it.
All right. First of all, let's talk about the cost. This is for season 1. We did Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas.
Yes.
The cost average, so if you went all the way at the very top at the owner's suite, that ran for around $20,000. A junior suite, which is on the low end of the suites, was about $8,000. There was an ocean view balcony, which is one we took, around $5,800, and the interior was $4,300. So that's pretty much a range that you're going to get for this experience. It's about 50% higher or so than if you just booked the cruise normally.
Yeah. So we originally booked the junior suite. We were like, oh, we want to be in concierge. But, again, this was our money. And by the time, they kind of nickel and dime you. But that's Royal. That's not Cruiseville. By the time, we were finished being nickel and dimed, we want a drink package. We want a food package. We want to try out the food and the drinks and everything. And then you pay per excursion. So by the time we added up everything, and then Cruiseville or Smallville Nights, and so just different activities, we were like, I don't know if the suite was the best option for us, so we kind of dropped down to a balcony, and that's okay to say. We did it.
Yeah, and that's why we say it isn't a cheap experience. Mm-hmm. Always think you're going to spend more than just the room on Royal itself. Also, there's excursions, there's events that you can upcharge through Cruiseville, which also add to the cost. So it's not just the room cost that you're going to get, but for a 7-day cruise, that's pretty much the range that you're going to be in. Season 2, we hear, is going to be less of an upcharge on the rooms themselves, but it's still higher than normal room prices than you would normally see if you want to kind of gauge it. And you also plan to add a few extra dollars in there for some of the activities.
And you have to book through the Vacationeer, which is kind of their travel agent company that's booking Cruiseville. We had asked the question, can we just book through Royal and attend the events? You cannot. You have to book the prices that the Vacationeer will give you. And they are an upcharge. Yeah,
and that goes to Vacationeer's staff to put this on, to the crew that comes on board from Smallville, as well as booking out the events and all the things that they do.
So that brings us in to the events and the event schedule.
So here is a preview of the schedule that we went on for Cruiseville Season 1, if you can see that here. And we'll go through each one of these and kind of talk about them, if it was worth it, if we liked it, if we didn't go. just to kind of give you an idea of some of the activities that we had on board.
And the front of the pass. We did get VIP, so there are also activities that were for VIP only. We'll let you decide whether you think VIP is worth it. Everyone kind of has their own opinion. Okay.
All right. So let's talk about the experience of getting on the ship. There wasn't anything special. There is no early boarding because of the group package or anything like that. You get on at whatever time is scheduled to you. Yeah, let's talk about the check-in. The check-in was a bit difficult because the check-in for Cruiseville was at 12 to 3. A lot of people had a 1:30, 2:30 boarding time, which meant that they weren't going to make it to the check-in. Made a lot of people stressed. There were a lot of messages going back and forth about that. So from a planning perspective, the check-in party should probably be after all aboard is complete. Just so you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. It seems like the first.
Or that you're rushing.
Or that you're rushing, yeah. So we definitely felt that. But that was mostly to get your T-shirt, to get your badges and your passes and everything related for the gear. That's
T-shirt
typically
only if you're VIP. So you get different objects, items during check-in. So I think during check-in, some of the tier 3 VIPs received shirts and the class ring. Or they may have received their class ring later. I think I heard some in the discourse whether they got their class ring or not. So it depends. It depends on if you are VIP or not VIP and which level VIP, what items you'll get during check-in.
That same day at 7:30 p.m. for us for about 2.5 hours, we had a welcome party. The welcome party was interesting. They brought everyone into the one of the common areas, and it was basically a mingling of the guests initially. You don't really know anyone getting on the ship usually, if it's your first time especially, so kind of awkward to not know what's going on and having to talk to people. But eventually the cast came out.
Yes, so we'll also show you clips for each of the events, so we can show you a clip here of the welcome party. So as you can see, during the welcome party, it was a bit of chaos. So they brought all the cast out, and there's a big crowd of people, and that was just, I guess, too much for me. So I couldn't really speak with the cast then. It was like, oh, let everybody else have their chance. We were able to have more one-on-one time with the cast later when it wasn't so many people all at once.
Yeah, I think that's one thing they could have improved is did something different. Just having everyone rush into the middle arena and meet the cast on the fly was kind of awkward. People enjoyed it. It was interesting. But yeah, it was something different, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So the first real day of the cruise, the Monday for us. There were 2 events, one with a cast member, rock climbing with Erica, which we did not do. That was an upcharged event, so that was something that you'd pay extra for if you wanted to do that while on the ship. It's very blurry. So day 2, Monday, the first event was a rock climbing with cast. The second event was the poker tournament. The poker tournament was something that we did hear feedback from. While on the cruise is something that we're probably not going to do again. But the poker tournament, if you bought into the poker tournament or if you paid, I think VIP 3, you were able to get in. There was a room in the ship where we had 2 tables set up where we did elimination style poker, Texas Hold'em poker tournament. It lasted about 4.5, 5 hours. It was a very long experience. So some of the improvements that we'll see going into next year will probably be a lack of poker, maybe an Uno tournament or something else. That one did last a long time. However, I will say the cast moved around the room for everyone watching.
So we actually spoke to one of the, he has actually won the poker tournament, and he was saying that he kind of wished he was actually on the side because Michael and Tom, they really worked the room for that poker tournament. It was like longer than 4 hours and it was boring, but they worked the room. They sat and talked. Michael did come and sit next to me, but again, I was a bit starstruck from seeing Michael up close, that I just kind of was like, I don't know. So I didn't say much to him. So yes, if you do get starstruck, they will come and still try to talk to you. I didn't say much, so he did wind up leaving, but they did work the room really well. So even if you don't like poker or Uno, I know some people didn't even attend because they said they didn't like poker. I mean, you still get to talk to the cast members. They will make it worth your while. And I think that's why I really enjoyed this experience, is even if you weren't interested in the activity, they went around and talked to you. They were very personable.
All right, let's talk about the Tuesday adventures. A little bit more to do on that Tuesday. Starting with photography and autographs, that was an upcharged event. We didn't particularly go to it, but I think it was a traditional autograph and photography kind of day where you can go in and get things signed and get a picture with the cast members.
Yeah, we walked past it. It was in the music hall. It looks very busy, but I talked to a few, people who attended that, and they were very well pleased with their photos and autographs. So I think if you want to do photos and autographs on the ship, go for it. Everybody seemed really happy.
So I think this is a good time to talk about the VIP packages on the ship, because this was a VIP Tier 3 event right after this.
Okay.
There were 3 VIP package levels that you could purchase additionally outside of the cruise. So just base package and just the room itself. There are specific events like the welcome party, going to the poker tournament but not actually playing poker, certain things that you can do without having to pay extra. It's fairly limited, honestly, in my opinion. So I think you want to consider excursions, events, or VIP packages to actually make this an experience. For the VIP packages, 3 tiers. Tier 1 VIP was $500 per person. And that got you in to a VIP party.
So VIP Tier 1 gets you into the VIP party, yes.
Yes, Tier 1 VIP party. Tier 2 was $2,000 a person.
$2,000 a person.
That got you a few more perks. And then Tier 3 at $10,000 per couple in that case. Got you a little bit more perks. So day 3, so the Tuesday, this event here, Tier 3 VIP meet and greet. So if you paid for that Tier 3 package, you got a private party. Basically heard it was everyone sitting in a circle and having a private conversation. About 8 or so people had the Tier 3 package on ours.
Yeah, and also they were also able to get like a private cabana with the cast members, and the cast members were able to rotate every hour or 45 minutes to an hour, and you were able to get a different cast member, and they had that cabana for a long time. I'm not sure. We were not Tier 3. But we talked to a Tier 3 fan who was able to purchase that package, and I mean, she said she would do it all over again, hands down, like no questions asked, no doubts. She would definitely do Tier 3 again. But she did tell us that they did the cabana and they all sat around and talked to each other. So all the Tier 3s actually split a cabana. So they all 8 of them were in one cabana, and then the cast members rotated every hour. But they enjoyed it, and so then the next day during the Tier 3 meet and greet, they all sat around again and talked to the cast members. So, I mean, if you want a lot of time with the cast members, maybe Tier 3 is the way to go.
Yeah, if you want to talk to them and ask them lots of questions and get a lot of time with them, that Tier 3 package is for that. The next event on Tuesday was the cast Q&A panel. So this was in the theater, and I forgot what we did. I don't remember this event.
Which the event?
The cast meet and greet, cast Q&A panel.
Oh, yes. So we have the full Q&A panel, and we will be posting that on a separate video because that went over. It was like an hour and a half long. The audience asked some great questions, but again, it was very long. I can show you some clips here.
How many people out there, this is your first cruise?
Wow! You guys are all very brave. Good for you.
Thank you for being here.
All right.
Did you say it's always the fourth day when the ship gets a little, something goes wrong the fourth day, they said, but don't worry about it.
Fantastic.
Okay, so I just kept it short for this video because this video is already going to be very long with us talking. But yes, we will be posting the full cast panel on a separate video and the full family Cruiseville feud on a separate video, just because they were over an hour long and nobody wants to sit through this whole video plus another 3 hours of other activities that we did. So I will be posting those.
Look in the comments for the video. Maybe look right there, but we'll see how fancy we get. We might just do comments. Next was a really fun one, Smallville Trivia.
Smallville Trivia. Oh, I have clips, and I can show you a clip here.
Yeah, that was a problem. I was just being cheeky.
Go ahead.
I just have to say that you are my favorite Lois.
Okay, so Smallville Trivia, I have a few clips from. Erica graciously volunteered to do the first Smallville Trivia. Thankfully, but she kind of got yelled at and I felt so bad. And I love Erica. She's awesome. She's like just the nicest, kindest person. And there was so much controversy with these questions that it just, the whole room was in discourse.
This is where I'm going to come in and say that this was a terribly run event. It was really cool that Erica was there.
Erica did a really great job, so it is not Erica's fault.
No, I think it was more of the setup of this event. It came right after the cast Q&A panel. The cast just left because I guess no one knew or told them what to do next. So we all kind of stood around in the theater for a while until Erica came back and said, I guess I'm doing this. There was nobody from Vacationeer there to debate the questions. They were ChatGPT questions on Smallville Trivia.
I think later on they said they were ChatGPT.
Did they say it?
Which,
because
it
was bad.
It was
I was like, I don't know
for the trivia, and it was ChatGPT for the Family Feud. Now, if you know us diehard Smallville fans, we can sit and debate for hours about everything. The show itself contradicts itself. So if you ask a basic Smallville question in one episode, you can have one answer, and in the other episode, you can have another. So I think one of the questions was like, what was the first superpower that Clark discovered? And there was so much uproar in this room because some people like me think it's super strength. When he comes out of his spaceship, the first thing he does is lift the truck. So that would technically be the first superpower he discovered. The answer wound up being super speed, which I don't know how they got. I don't.
This is the first thing he did.
They said the first superpower he discovered in the pilot. So in the pilot, he didn't really discover super speed.
He would have to know. You don't just run after a bus. You know you have it. So did he discover it?
So that was like the first superpower he used, but that's probably
Oh, there was debate.
This room, you guys.
Y'all got crazy.
This room was in an uproar. It was insane.
Erica was like the nicest person.
Oh, she was the nicest. She went around with a microphone to everyone who had an opinion and made sure everyone was heard. To the point where he asked, "Is Erica a kindergarten teacher?"
I thought she was a teacher. She sounded like a teacher.
Because she wanted to make
really
sure
good.
everyone was heard, and she was making sure that everyone, was able to voice their opinions and their differences in these, in every question, not just that question. I mean, every single one. She was the nicest. She was the most patient. Like, I have so much respect for her.
Yeah, I think
I wouldn't have been able to do that.
I think to clean this part up, you have to have someone who's a diehard fan actually like debate these questions ahead of time, and then have a cast member do it. That was pretty cool. I think that was
Yes.
on the whim. I don't think that was planned.
So the second time we did trivia, a cast member did not perform the trivia, but we did have John Glover, and he did sit with us.
Yeah, I think you have
Not
a cast
us
member
per se, but he sat in the room.
He was in it. I think you have someone from the cast do the trivia. I think it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And then we
Good
ended.
thing I'm not getting yelled at.
Yeah, I mean you got to get yelled at. That's fine. Well, if you have better questions, let's not chat GPT them next time. That'd be great. Okay, we started the end of the night at 7 p.m. With an episode viewing. So it was our first episode viewing.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you feel about that?
First episode viewing was with Michael and John.
Holy shit! Whoa! John, you were good. You were actually really good in that scene. What are you doing?
That was amazing.
John, that was awesome! Amazing. I'm so, seriously, I feel like that now. All right, we're gonna watch the rest. This is great. I was captivated. I'd never seen that. Had you seen that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, me neither.
There's some good ones, man.
It was captivating. Can we skip the credits? There we go.
They watched the episode Descent, where, yes, hopefully you've watched all of Smallville. They watched the episode Descent where Lex kills Lionel. And I thought that was very great. I thought that was very good. Michael was funny, and he started singing at the end. It was pretty funny when Clark comes up to Lex alone at the funeral, and he just started singing through that whole. It was pretty funny. And John Glover is just a sweetheart. I love him.
Spoiler alert, I didn't get there in the season yet, so I got to watch a whole episode that I never watched yet.
If
So
you're on the Smallville cruise, you
should probably watch it
watch
first.
the entire seasons 1 through 10.
Yeah, you should probably do it, because you're going to watch an episode and get all the spoilers. And then karaoke with Michael, and we heard this was fun. We didn't do the karaoke because, one, Michael listens to really old music, and I wasn't into 70s.
But we did
apparently
a brunch tour with him after, and he said that they actually did some 90s and 2000s music, and that next year he wants us to go because he will be doing more recent songs and not just the 70s and 80s.
Yeah,
So,
we didn't know what to expect on that one, but now you know. It's just general karaoke. Sounded like everyone had a blast. We didn't go to this event, but we heard good things about it.
Yeah, I thought it would just be too many old songs, and I wouldn't know. But I will go next year. Hopefully.
What if you don't? Then you gotta re-record this. Oh, sad. All right, let's talk about the Wednesday experiences next. So now we're on the next day, the Wednesday, starting with Smallville trivia again.
So the second time, Smallville trivia, we kind of went over that, but the second time was a member from the Vacationeer gave the questions. Less controversial, definitely harder questions, but he did ask before, did we want harder or easier questions? They were harder questions, but also
A little bit of controversy still.
still controversy.
Yeah,
So,
he wasn't
controversy.
a diehard fan either, but he at least watched the show, so that was pretty
He
good.
wasn't as enthused as Erica was, so we want Erica back for trivia. The next day was a port day. You could choose to go on different excursions. Like, I think Tom at one point went on a catamaran, and Erica for this port went to a chocolate tasting. So we didn't do the chocolate excursion with Erica, although I would have loved to. So hopefully I can do that next year. We actually did it on our own. We absolutely loved it.
Yeah, so if you want to do it with the cast, make sure you book it through Vacationeer. Make sure you book everything through the Cruiseville side so that you are on the party if you want to do it with the cast. So don't book anything separate or on the side or anything like that. Just so if you were wondering.
we actually booked it on the side in hopes that maybe we would get lucky and go with the cast, but no. If you book it on the side through Royal Caribbean, you will not be with any cast member. They will make sure of this. Um, so if you definitely want to be with a cast member, don't try to do it like we did and be like, oh, cross fingers, we'll get to be in the excursion. You will not. You will be on your own. But we still really enjoyed it. But I think we would have enjoyed it more with a cast member.
Ending Wednesday with Smallville Nights.
Smallville Nights.
Oh, man.
Okay, so I went in with one expectation, and we weren't able to record, so I don't have clips for this, you guys. I'm sorry. I went in with one expectation because I read Reddit. And they were like, oh, they will reproduce a homecoming scene, and that's what I would live for. So I was hoping for a reenactment of the homecoming scene. We did not get that.
I thought we'd have the whole cast there. I thought we'd have all 5 and then like reenact scenes and talk about it.
Yeah, I think we went in with different expectations than we should have.
Now, I don't know. We haven't been to a Smallville Nights on the Comic-Cons yet.
No. So we went in with different expectations because we had never been before.
It was a lot of fan service. A lot of the fans interacting with other fans and less so much reenacting scenes. We did hear from the cast that they may be thinking about doing 2 of these next time. But just know that Smallville Nights is an extra charge, so you don't get in free. It is $200 per person.
And don't go in with expectations to see Lois and Clark reenacting homecoming scenes. Like, just don't. Just don't.
That's your feedback.
It was just Michael and Tom just kind of goofing around.
And then we ended Wednesday with the episode viewing with Tom and AB.
Yeah. Adrienne is very funny.
She's cool. Wow. That's all you gotta say. What was that episode? What did you watch? I don't remember what we watched. What did we watch?
We watched Adrienne's only episode that she
Oh, yeah,
has.
that makes sense.
So if you go to an episode viewing with 2 of the cast members, most likely it'll be an episode that features those 2 cast members heavily. So Adrienne was there, but she only has 1 episode in Smallville, so I mean you kind of know what episode you're gonna get.
Yeah, you get some behind the scenes. What's funny is the girls actually remember filming this thing. Neither Tom or Michael do. So you get some good feedback on these kinds of episode viewings.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Thursday. Getting close to the end of the week. The first thing we started with was the Women of Wine with Erica and AP doing a wine tasting. We did not subscribe to it. Although, you know what? Now, I wish we would have did this one. We passed by.
So I don't drink wine, so this just would not be for me.
It would have been for me.
Yeah. But yes, we were actually at the bar Giovanni's where they were doing the Women of Wine. And we sat there before and they kicked us out.
Yes.
We were not trying to get into this event.
But
Again,
we met
I don't
other
drink wine.
Smallville fans who had no idea this was going on. So
Yeah, we did.
Had a great
We
conversation.
did. And we had a great conversation just outside of Giovanni's and we saw them walk in and they looked like they were having a great time. I don't have any footage of this one either.
Our footage is lacking.
I have a lot of footage. Not of all the paid ones.
We didn't know we were supposed to do a lot of paid events.
A lot of footage of the free ones.
Yes. All right, next we're ending with, this was an interesting one, the Cruiseville Family Feud.
Okay, so this was probably my favorite event. You had the cast versus the fans. And next year they said they might switch it up and do fans versus fans, and then whoever wins that one might go against the cast.
It wasn't a competition. You guys destroyed them because they really hadn't watched the show, so I don't know what they expected.
I mean, it was also ChatGPT answer. It was at one point the fans started booing because ChatGPT didn't know what they were talking
The
about.
100 poll. I think they're going to poll us.
But it actually made it
time.
funnier. The fact that, I mean, they were just pulling answers that no one.
Yeah.
They said, what was the one that Michael said? They polled what?
He was ad-libbing. We polled 100 million Smallville fans. We didn't hear back from 999,900 of them. So the next 100. Yeah.
And they didn't even poll 100.
The answers were a little rough.
Yeah.
From everywhere. But that should be improved next year.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Friday's one single event. So, Pros and cons. If you booked VIP, this was the best event in my opinion.
So your favorite?
This my favorite was the VIP party. We'll talk about why. But if you did not pay for VIP, you did not interact with the cast on Friday.
Yes. So our thing was we didn't pay for as many activities because we thought we were VIP. We were going to have the VIP events. So this was where we got the pictures. So I will show you the pictures here. Also, this is the party where Lionel came up to me, or John Glover came up to me and just started dancing with me. Like, held out his hands. We started dancing, twirled me around. I mean, it was a crazy party. This was the party where I actually had a full conversation with Tom. And
Erica.
I bombed
you bombed Erica.
Yeah. So I do have a case of getting starstruck. And Lois is probably my favorite character on Smallville, which means I cannot talk to her. And I tried to talk to her, and I completely did not do a great job. She asked what I did, and I just could not think.
I took a picture with Adrian. And,
yeah, he took a picture with Adrian.
Wow, she's tall. She must have had heels on, too, because
beautiful.
Really
the whole cast is beautiful.
It was great. Everybody just kind of interacted with each other. They all spread out. You got to walk up to them and have a normal conversation.
Yeah.
Really cool. The bar was open. Buy a drink package if you're an alcoholic, like I am. Yeah, it was a great event. I will say, though, if we're talking about the VIP package, I think that was worth it for me, the VIP one. If you didn't have a VIP package, I don't know. I felt like you had a cruise day where you didn't have any events. I feel like they could have did something free. I think they should do something free every day for just the base packages.
Yeah. If you were not VIP, you had no event that day.
Yeah, you had nothing. I also say, like, VIP 1, they say reserved seating at all the events. This one wasn't a seated event. But... All right, going into Saturday, the last real day of this cruise, starting with a galley tour. So the galley tour is the traditional galley tour on the ship. However, the cast was there. I don't know. In my opinion, maybe it was skippable. If you're going to penny pinch on one, I think you penny pinch on this one. I don't think it was run really well. The cast all sat together at one table. We sat at a table ourselves without a cast member on it. We didn't have a cast member. Michael, out of pity, walk with us through the galley tour. It should have been more spread out. It should have been run well. They should have had someone from Vacationeer there during the event to make sure that it was at least spread out and everybody had a good experience with it. I think this one was a bomb on the event. Give it a 3 bomb rating. It
was Erica's birthday, so that made
it Erica's birthday
all by itself. I hope she had a great birthday. I will say, from a fan perspective, you go into this breakfast hoping you either get in a group. So they separated us into about 3 or 4 groups. Each one got a cast member. Our group was the only group that did not. And then when we sat down, we sat at like 5 different tables. And again, each table got a cast member. Our table did not. So it was kind of fans awkwardly staring at each other, kind of a little mad that we didn't at least get one cast member at our table where everybody else did at theirs.
You got to sit next to the giant beam on the ship. That was really cool. So you got the blocked view of anybody.
Oh yeah, and then I was facing away, so it's kind of like I could have just did brunch with the 2 of us, and it would have been less awkward.
All right, the next thing we did was an episode viewing. Probably one of the better episode viewings, in my opinion. So this was
the best one.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm biased, but it was a Lois and Laura episode. I guess I did. So it was a Erica and Laura, Lois and Kara episode. And it was great. The girls were funny. They remembered
things,
a lot.
which was nice.
Yeah. And they were just hilarious. I think I have clips here.
I don't want to watch that guy at the beginning again. That's alarming. That's scary. My kids would not be watching this show.
Thank you to my loyal followers. We're small, but we're loud.
Well. I'm feeling very uncomfortable. Everybody look.
The next, another karaoke. So it was the second karaoke. Again, we didn't do it, but heard great things. And last but not least, the farewell party with the cast.
It was organized.
It was
It was
organized.
well. It was
Yeah.
great.
It was the most organized
speed
thing we
dating
did.
with the cast.
Yes.
It was like speed dating with the cast. So they actually sat us in groups, and this time each group did get a cast member. Yay! So the cast members actually revolved around the groups. We sat in the Royal Theater. So we were all sitting down in little sections, and the cast members came to each one of us.
This would have been a great first event to
Yes.
replace the welcome party.
It would have been a great icebreaker.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the things we want to talk about. Was it worth it?
For me, I think it was worth it. I think I've looked at so many of the fans and the pictures they were able to take on the boats and things. And so I'm like, oh, I want to do it next year. But next year, I do want to do more activities. I do want to do more excursions. I feel like if you do more activities and excursions, you do get more one-on-one time with the cast. The cast, even during Smallville Nights, the fans who Tom and Michael called out were the people they went on excursions with. So those are the people that they are going to remember, that they are going to call out throughout the rest of the time. So if you go on this trip like we did, and you don't do many excursions, and you don't do many activities, you get a limited experience than if you go all out. But the reason we didn't do that is because it was kind of expensive, and the more excursions you add on, I mean, I think some are like $300 a person. Well, that's $600 for the both of us. And you have to do, excursion for all 4 port days. And each activity, like karaoke,
Each activity
brunch,
on the ship.
rock climbing, wine tasting, each one is another $100 to $200 per person. So that really starts adding up into the thousands. So you really have to save up your pennies and be able to do all of that to really have the full experience. I'm in some group messages with the fans, and I think the fans who enjoyed it the most booked
The
multiple
most
excursions and multiple activities.
And VIP packages, I think you really got to go in, think about the cost of the room. It's more expensive than just a regular cruise ship room, but budget yourself probably 50% of that room cost for additional events. Booking packages and booking excursions. In my opinion, I think that if you go in with just the bare minimum and you just go in, it may not be worth it. You're really not going to get a lot of one-on-one time. If you don't want one-on-one time, that's fine. You could probably get through it. I think that a real diehard fan who wants to talk with people, you're probably going to want to get as many excursions as you can. I don't know if you need VIP, but I would recommend at least tier 1.
At least tier 1 just for the VIP party, which is amazing. That's where I got the best photos. I also think that if you are a diehard fan and you just want to be in the presence, then yes, you don't need as many excursions and activities. That's kind of what we did, and we still had fun. We still think this is a memorable experience that we will probably remember forever. We don't think it was a bad experience at all.
No, we actually did a little bit different. We kind of made it also a vacation for us. So we booked things on the ship that was without the cast. We did the dining package on top of it, did the beverage packages on top of it. There's a lot of social events, so the beverage package came in handy. I think you get a beverage package on the ship if that ship doesn't have to have it. Because, you're spending a lot of time with the cast. You can have a drink. You can not worry about it. To me, that's worth it. What did you do on the ship? If you were not at a Cruiseville event, you can kind of explore the ship on your own. That's when you can book things that are not part of the Cruiseville experience, which we did a few, especially like some of the free trivias and things like that on the ship. But for the times that you're with one of the groups, it tends to take up a few hours of the day, so you got to kind of plan around those.
Yeah.
What went right about this cruise? I think the one-on-one time was pretty interesting. It was different, something that you don't normally experience.
I agree.
What went wrong? I think it was organized a little bit rough on some of the events. Some events were not organized as well. I think that is probably what went wrong. There's going to be some improvements in the future on some of the things that are out there. We heard directly from Cruiseville, directly from the cast, that there's some things they want to improve and do better next time. So it was a learning experience. We were on the first cruise, so there was a little bit of that. Number 4, again, where could you penny pinch? Where you should spend your money? Honestly, I think if you're going to penny pinch, it's not going to be worth it. I think you really have to go in with the expectation that you are going to spend 50% of the room cost on extra events or more. Get as much as you possibly can, because that's all just time with the cast. Even if you're not really interested, it's not interested in karaoke, go anyway, book it. It's time to spend with the cast and watch them goof around. If you're not doing that, you are just on the ship by yourself or with your partner. So depends on how you want to do it. If you're like us and you're kind of okay with taking a vacation away from the cast every now and then, you can get by with less. But think about what you want to purchase in addition to just the room cost.
Who was your favorite cast member to meet?
I'm going to say John Glover.
I was going to say John Glover.
Yeah. He was awesome.
He was the nicest, the friendliest. He's the nicest, friendliest human being. Like, I went into this, and I'm not much of a Lionel fan.
I am, yes.
He's a Lionel fan. I would skip Lionel scenes. But I went into this, and I had one cast member who I thought would be my favorite, and it is John Glover. Like, he is the nicest, the sweetest person to ever meet. He just makes everything 1,000 times better. And I didn't know that. And so he won't be there next year, which I'm kind of sad about.
I know.
But I'm sure the rest of the cast will do an amazing job.
Yeah. No, the cast was great. Tom had some of the longest conversations with Tom. Michael was reading the room and working the room, so really good on him. Erica was basically a school teacher, just herding everyone.
Erica was the best.
Yeah.
She was so nice and kind.
But she was great.
I aspire to be that nice and kind. When a room full of fans are yelling at you about wrong trivia questions, she definitely held it together with poise, and I aspire to be like that one day.
I want to do shots with Adrian next year. I wonder if that'll be an excursion.
We don't know if Adrian's coming next year.
We don't know. She should come. I want to do shots. I feel like she has tequila shots energy.
I don't know.
She was cool, but she can't do an episode viewing because we already saw it. So we have to think about that. Didn't interact with Laura as much, but
yeah, we didn't interact with Laura or Adrian as much. So if you notice, we're not talking about them as much. We just did not interact with them as much, but they are both beautiful people, and I'm sure they are nice and kind as well. We just did not interact with them as much.
Well, as always,
hold on to Smallville. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. I will be posting the full panel and Cruiseville Family Feud after this. And here's the final farewell from the cast.
JP who's not here, who's not feeling well, and his team, who JP came to, I don't know if I told you guys, JP came to me because I reached out to their agency and I was interested in another actor that they work with for another cruise, and that didn't work out, and I said, okay, whatever, life goes on, moving on. And JP emailed me and he said, we should talk about a Smallville cruise. And I said, yeah, whatever, dude, I don't think so. I watched Smallville, it was great, but that was a long time ago. And he said, no, we need to talk. Let's set up a time. And he kept emailing me, and I was finally like, I gotta take a call with this guy because he's never gonna give up. And I took a call with him, and at the end of the call, I was like, I need to do a Smallville cruise. Yes. And here we are, and it was awesome. Oh my God, I'm not worried about it, don't do that. So thank you, and thank you guys, because this doesn't happen without you guys saying, this agency that I've never heard of created this cruise that I've never heard of, that the cast that I really love is talking about, so I guess I'll give it a try. And here you are, and we had an amazing week, and Michael's here. People came to see. We had 165. Wow. Yeah, it was really great. Take a week off of work and come here and do this with us. Thank you so much. So everyone take a selfie on the way out with the backdrop back there. And post all your best photos on our Facebook group, please. Michelle and Ming, are you guys still here? Michelle and Ming, can I get a round of applause for Michelle and Ming from Royal Caribbean? So they're the ones that do everything. They're the ones that get us the space on board. They're the ones that make sure that we have the projectors and the microphones and everything, and the drinks and everything that we need in the room. They've been amazing this week. Everything we needed. It was fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, they're quiet. They're in the background. They're amazing. They're super sweet, and they just say yes anytime we need anything. It's yes. We'll figure it out. So thank you all. Thank you to Royal Caribbean. Thank you all. Have a fantastic night. Safe trip home. Another idea.
Yeah, during this, there should be some kind of music in the background, like I can't stand the
Next year. Next year. That's a good idea. Rosenbach. Just a Rosenbach. Would anybody do a cruise just for Michael? Wow. I don't know. We'll talk about that. Anyway.
Well, if you want to have fun. You know I'm fun.
I'm about to let them depart. Any final closing word?
Yes. Say it with me. No, there aren't questions now. Always